Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, 2 Samuel chapter 11. If you have any questions, you can comment below. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, you can send me an email at the address below. So in the last chapter, we left off in 2 Samuel 10 verse 19. It says that when all the king's servants of Hadarezer saw that they were smitten before Israel, they made peace with Israel and served them. So the Syrians feared to help the children of Ammon anymore. So there was this big battle that happened. Basically the Israelites prevailed, and so it scared a couple of different people. If you check out this chart here, is the plot development of 2 Samuel. You can see the last couple chapters, we were talking about the military triumphs of David. In this chapter, we're going to talk about David's transgressions. Basically, when he sinned with Bathsheba. 2 Samuel 11 verse 1. And it came to pass, after the years was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabab. But David tarried still in Jerusalem. But here's the first problem. David was not where he was supposed to be. You have to understand that you should be in church, be in the house on time, be in bed on time, at school on time, at work on time. You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be and not somewhere else. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from his bed, and he walked up to the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. The woman was very beautiful to look upon. So here's the second problem. David's been sleeping all day. He just woke up in the evening. He just got up. You're supposed to have a schedule and keep it, because hard work keeps you out of trouble. Ezekiel 5 says, the sleep of the laborer man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. Genesis 3 says, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. For sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field, and the sweet of the face shall they eat the bread, till they return to the ground. Out of it was taken, for the dust thou art, and of the dust shalt thou return. God made work for us, for our benefit. Genesis 1:27 says, God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it. Genesis 9:1 says, and God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. See, you have to understand that God wants people to have lots of kids, or be fruitful and multiply. And it's for his future glory. So one of the greatest drives he gave to every male of every species is to fulfill that commandment, to be fruitful and multiply. Samuel 11:3. And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is it not Bathsheba, the daughter of Elam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her. And she came unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanliness. So here's the third problem. No man that I've ever met can help the first look. But David lusted. And not only did he lust it, he sent one of his men to go get her. And then he committed adultery with her. Matthew 5 says, you have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh upon a woman with lust after her, has committed adultery with her already in his heart. Jesus said that if you even look with somebody with lust, you've committed adultery. 1 Timothy 2 says, in like manner also, that women adore themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold, apparel, or costly array. And basically what is happening here in Timothy, he's saying, ladies, if you're not in business, don't advertise. I looked on the internet here, how many women's lingerie sites are there? It says there's over 110 million. So I said, okay, what about guys? How many men's lingerie sites are there? And this is over here, there's about 73.6 million. So here's the problems. There's only three really options. Number one, She was doing this bathing out in the open on purpose and hoping to entice the king. Number 2, she was 100% innocent and it's all David's fault. Or option 3, it's a mixture of both and blame goes to each. Either one of them could have said no. Leviticus 15 says, "But if she be cleansed after her on her issue, then she shall be number herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean." And basically what it's saying is that women have a menstrual cycle every 28 days. They bleed for 4 or 5 days, then they have infernal days, then they have fertile days, and they have infernal days. God set them apart, that way there was no chance that you would try to be together, because He wanted you to be fruitful and multiply. And it says here that He lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanliness, and she returned to her house. The woman conceived and sent and told David, and said, "I am with child." Proverbs 14 says, "In the multitude of people it is the king's honor, but in the one of the people it is the destruction of the prince." Daniel 5 says, "I beheld until the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garments were white as snow, and the hair of his head was like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheel is burning fire. A fire stream issued and came forth before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. And I beheld there, because the voice of the great words had the horn spoke. And behold, till the beasts were slain, and the body was destroyed, and given to the burning flame." There's going to be a time here soon that we're going to be judged. You're going to open this book, and every single thing that you thought, that you did, that you said, everything is going to be out there in the open. You got to watch what you do sometimes. And concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season at a time. And I saw the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And it was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed. Revelations 5 talks about the same time. It says, "They sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and open the seals thereof. And though we're slain, hasn't redeemed us to God the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us to the God kings and priests, that we shall reign on this earth. And behold, I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessings." There's going to be a time when we're going to be in heaven and we're going to be rejoicing. And like I said, everything that you think, say, do is going to be revealed to the whole world. You know, every knee is going to bow eventually. We want to be in the kingdom. So here's a lesson to learn. David had a lot of wives and concubines. And he demonstrates that just one more will never satisfy. If you look at this list here, this lists 8 wives. And he also had many concubines. 2 Samuel 5 says, "And David perceived that the Lord had established him king over Israel, that he has exalted his kingdom for his peoples of Israel's sake." Look at 13. "And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, after he was come to Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David." 2 Samuel 11. "And he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned to her house. And the woman conceived, and sent and told David, and said, I am with child." So now David's in his predicament. He saw a lady, called her over, was intimate with her. Now she's pregnant, and David knows this is somebody's wife. So David sent to Joab, saying, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah had come to him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, "Go down to thy house, and wash thy feet." And Uriah departed out of the king's house. And there followed him a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house, with all of his servants and his lord, and went not down to his house. See, David told Uriah to go home, because he wanted him to be with his wife, and that way he would think it's his kid. But Uriah, because he's a warrior, he didn't go home. He just sat outside the king's house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down to his house, David said to Uriah, Comest thou not from thy journey? Why dost thou go down from thine house? He's saying, You just came from a long journey in the field. Why don't you go back down home? And Uriah said unto David, The ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go to my house and eat and drink and lie with my wife? As thou liveth, as thou soul liveth, I will not do such a thing. He's saying, My men's down there in the field, sleeping out in the open. They're sleeping in tents. I'm not going to go home in a nice comfy house and spend time with my wife when my men are out there suffering. And David said to Uriah, Tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and then the morrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And even he went out to lie to his bed to his servants of the Lord, but was not down to his house. So David tried to get him drunk, so he would go home and lie with his wife, and he still didn't do it. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah in the forefronts of the hottest battle, and retreat you from him, that he may be smitten and die. So David said, This guy's wife's pregnant. He won't go down there and be with his wife. I gotta kill him. So David sent messages to put him in the front lines of the fiercest battle to basically guarantee to kill him. And it came to pass when Joab observed the city that he assigned Uriah to a place where he knew his valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people, the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David the thing concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, Whenest thou hast made an end to telling me the matter of the war to the king? And it be so that the king's wrath arose, and he said unto thee, Wherefore approach ye so nigh to the city when he did fight? Know ye not that they will shoot him from the wall? Who smote Abimelech, the son of Jerubbesheth? Did not a woman cast a piece of a millstone upon him for the wall? Did he die in the sheep bed? Why art thou nigh the wall? And he said, Thou servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So the messengers went and came and showed David all that Joab had sent for him. And the messenger said unto David, Surely the men prevail against us, and come out to us in the field. We were upon them even to the entering of the gate. And the shooter shot from the wall upon thy servant, and some of the king's servants be dead, and thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said to the messengers, Thus shalt thou say to Joab, Let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoureth one as well as another, making thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it and encourage thou them. So David got news that Uriah the Hittite was now dead, and his guy Joab felt kind of bad about it, and he said, Don't worry about it. People live and die. It happens. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah the husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the mourning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife, and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. So he said, Hey, are you done crying over your husband? Now be my wife. I mean, how rude was this? In 2 Samuel 12, it said Lord was displeased. And it said in verse 1, And the Lord sent Nathan to David, and he came to him and said unto him, There were two men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. He's going to tell him, Look, David, this is what you did wrong. We'll find out in the next chapter. Numbers 32 says, But if you would not do so, behold, you have sinned against the Lord, and sure your sin will find you out. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For he brought nothing into this world, and certainly we can carry nothing out. Having food and raiment, let us be therefore content. He's saying, no matter what you have or what you don't have, you got to be content. David had at least 8 wives and many concubines, and he was not content. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, you can just comment below. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, you can send me an email. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen here. The bottom right is going to be the 2 Samuel Bible study. The top left is going to be the 1 Samuel Bible study. And the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube thinks you're going to like. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click that bell, share it on social media. and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.